I'm Clever Ghoul, but you can call me Nikki. Welcome to the channel. Today we're making a gingerbread house out of foam clay. I usually make a miniature house for Halloween every year. I kind of wanted to make one for Christmas and I thought, how cute would a gingerbread house be? I've never worked with foam clay, so this is definitely going to be an adventure and it could go very wrong. It's also not the craft I had planned for this week, but I had trouble sourcing materials for that other project, so here we are. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to put paint in the foam clay to make it like a soft brown, and then I'm going to roll it out and cut it out with these gingerbread house cookie cutters, and we're going to see what happens. I was also at Target in the one spot, the dollar section, whatever it's called. They had these collectible miniature bottles which had little labels on them. I don't really understand why they're collectible, but go off, Target. Like this one says, "You've been nice," and there's a bunch of little miniature presents in it. And then there's one with snowballs, and there's one with lumps of coal. I bought these thinking maybe we could work them into the project, but if not, I'll have another use for them. In my craft closet, I actually have this storage piece that's all a bunch of drawers, and there's tons of miniature items in them. They're mostly Halloween based though, so it's not really gonna work for this project. Fingers crossed that I don't completely mess this up and that I have enough foam clay, because I am not going to go get more. It's all good. This is gonna be great. I just sat in traffic for like 40 minutes, so I'm clearly not in a good place to record an intro, but here we are. So let's get into it.
Foam clay is so sticky. Having never worked with it, I had only heard it could be a little tricky at first, and now I can see why. I decided I didn't want to pull out all of the clay at once since it starts to change once it's introduced to air, and I wasn't sure how long it would take me to mix, paint, and cut out the shapes. I kept adding paint little by little to get the right color. Between that and the stretching and pulling required to mix the paint in, this part took about 10 to 15 minutes. I noticed the texture of the clay changing as I was working in the paint. It felt a lot like a kneaded eraser does when it's warmed up. Next, I rolled out the clay and began cutting the shapes for my house. I repeated the mixing, rolling, and cutting process several times to get all of the pieces I needed. I even made some extras in case. I also cut out some tiny white stars that I thought I might need for the decorating process.
So this is what we have so far. This is just the base. It's a little sloppy, but honestly, this is what it would look like if you bought one of those kits in the store, you know, the do-it-yourself ones. And I kind of like that. Like, it has the charm of being homemade. That's what we're going with. I didn't say this yesterday, but I wanted to have windows in my gingerbread house because I'm gonna put a little candle inside, probably an LED one, so that, you know, there's no risk of lighting my house on fire, both this one and my actual home. I think it looks pretty cute. And now we're gonna start decorating. I'm gonna look up different styles of gingerbread house, different ways you can decorate them, because I'm not really sure what I want to do at the moment. So I guess I'll figure that out, and I'll see you when we're in the decorating process, which should be, you know, right now.
After looking at some decoration inspo online, I started drawing out the rough idea of what I wanted my house to look like. Stars on the roof, dots around the windows and doors, and some little filigree-like elements here and there. I wasn't sure if I wanted to use quick seal or dimensional glitter paint for my frosting, but once I tested out the glitter paint, I knew that that's what I wanted to use. I laid out my stars and where I wanted the glitter frosting to go and got started. I then glued down the foam stars with the quick seal since I didn't want to deal with more hot glue cobwebs. And quick seal is great to use on EVA foam and foam clay. I definitely messed up the thickness of the frosting at first, but like I said, I wanted this to look homemade and fun. It doesn't have to be perfect. I repeated this process on the other half of the roof before moving on to the sides and front of the house. Next, I trimmed the foam board base down a little and drew out how I wanted it to look. I had some snow fabric that I wanted to cover the base in. I also wanted to add a present pile and utilize some of the miniatures that I showed you in the beginning. Maybe even throw in a mini Christmas tree in the front too. I cut out and layered the snow fabric twice so that you couldn't see the foam board and hot glued it down. Then I dug out those mini presents from the bottle they were in and made a little pile near the front of the house. I really liked the mini Christmas lights from one of the bottles, so I broke them out, attached them to beading wire, and started to hot glue them to the front overhang of the roof. Then I took out some glittery washi tape and made it look like a planter for the tree I was going to use and glued those down. For an extra dash of color, I added some gems that mimicked lights around the roofline. Overall, I'm really pleased with how this project turned out. I wish that the glitter paint had been a little bit more opaque, but I kind of like how it ended up. I think I would definitely do a few things differently next time, but it was so much fun working with foam clay and I can't wait to try it again. Do you make gingerbread houses or cookies? How do you decorate them? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications, and don't forget to follow me at cleverghoul.yt on TikTok and Instagram. See you next week. Bye.